Now, you know, with our Sky Ocean Rescue campaign, how important it is to stop using single-use plastics and try and stop more plastic going into the ocean. But what about the plastic that's already there? Well, we've talked a lot about clean-up operations, but it's a huge problem. So how about doing something positive with it? Well, Adrian Solgaard has set up a company building backpacks out of plastic waste, and he's here. It's good to see you, along with
Thank you for having me.
said backpack.
Yeah, happy to have it along.
I mean, the positive thing about this, I always think with our campaign, is it is really important not just to say what we're doing wrong, but what positively we can do to make things better again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's actually a raw resource that we can take from the ocean and use that to make good stuff out of it.
So in terms of the products you're making, how much are you actually pulling out of the ocean?
So every product we sell, we pull 5 pounds of plastic. So we're doing an offset where it's 1-for-1 on that, and then we'll use some of that material to make the product. The rest we'll recycle through another recycling facility.
So in terms of, I mean, we know the ocean is full of plastic, but how do you
truck every minute?
But how do you resource it? How do you actually go about collecting that plastic?
So we collect it with a partnership facility in the Philippines, and we collect from there. And then the plastic bottles, the PET material, is the stuff that we can use, and we use that to make the raw material for the bags.
And how long does the process from plastic bottle taken from the ocean ending up as a bag, how long does that process take?
So it's about 90 days from, well, 120 days really, if you're going from plastic to be cleansed, to being cleansed, chipped, flaked, stretched out into yarn, made into fabric cut and sewn into a bag. It's 120 days, something like that.
Wow. I mean, as well as doing what you're doing, you've got to see it. Maybe people watching looking for their own business models. I mean, is it a cheaper resource?
No, it's not.
It's not a cheaper way of doing it.
No. And the biggest challenge, it's taken us a year and a half to set up the supply chain to make this work. Yeah. So that's actually been a huge challenge. And we're hoping that by setting up some of these supply chains, it'll be easier for other people to use that same material. Because we don't need to use virgin plastics for all this stuff. We can use, reuse this material, repurpose.
And is that part of the problem that we face at the minute as consumers? Is that it's not that easy to get rid of plastic. Single use is hard enough to get rid of. Never mind this sort of kit. If there's a sustainable source of plastic that is recycled and recyclable, yeah, that's going to make our lives a whole lot easier, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, and that's where things like aluminum cans, we can reuse those very easily. And if we can set up the recycling facilities so we can repurpose these things over and over again, we can get towards a circular economy.
I mean, is it an improved product, or are we simply turning waste into a resource? I mean, is this a better way of doing things, or we're just simply trying to manage a problem that we've created? Yeah, well, like on the product side, we're trying to set up a standard where using sustainable products doesn't mean you sacrifice quality. We're making great products where, this one has a solar panel inside of it, different features, and the actual raw material itself is the same. You wouldn't even know which is which, because the plastic, once it's melted down, it's the same as if it were virgin plastic. I think that's kind of the question you're asking.
I mean, do you think we're going to see more of this, more people, because we are becoming a lot more aware of the plastic problem, do you think we're going to see more people getting into this? It could actually make your supply chain cheaper.
It does actually. And because more and more people are doing it, then these factories are being set up to optimize for it. But then again, it's kind of encouraging the single-use plastic to being used. It creates this system where even like a lot of the UK's plastic waste is being exported to China to be made. So there's bigger problems to look at, and I think that's where single-use plastic being the biggest enemy, and then long-term use. If you're using a backpack for 3, 5, 10 years and it's plastic, okay, that's probably fine. That's a much better use of it than
What about your customer base? I mean, there must be an element now where you market this sort of product towards people who've got a sense of social responsibility, but ultimately you want to just be able to sell it to anyone.
Exactly. Well, like we love travel and we love the planet, and so we want to be able to sell to people that think the same way. And a lot of it is millennial travelers. People, the more you travel, the more you see the problem. So I was in Bali a year and a half ago, and I saw plastic waste all over the beach. It was supposed to be the most beautiful spot, and I thought, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be something we can do about this. And I think a lot of people that have traveled in Southeast Asia feel the same way.
Yeah, well, it's good to see positive action being taken. Adrian, really good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, we've got our Deep Ocean Live series of broadcasts with special live programmes from deep in the Indian Ocean to see the damage caused by plastic pollution. So we'll be broadcasting from beneath the ocean waves on Monday the 18th, Tuesday the 19th and Wednesday the 20th of March. You can also keep up to date with our Deep Ocean teams on the Sky News website and our mobile app.